Hi everyone, welcome to DIY Ideas. So today I want to show you how you can sew in rounds or in circles, and this is something that you'll definitely come across in your project, so I wanted to show you an easy and neat way to do that and get great results. So first I want to show you how you can do an outside circle, so when your fabric needs to go to the outside instead of inwards. And yeah, afterwards, I'm going to show you how you can do the same thing the other way around, so inwards. So in order to do this, I have some fabric prepped here. This can be in any size, style of fabric or type of fabric. So you see here I have two pieces and I basically just want to stitch them up together in this circle shape. So I have here some yarn that matches the fabric, of course. Then I have some pins and my fabric scissors are in the background as well. Here I have the regular pair of scissors and also a zigzag pair of scissors. So for this, your length of the stitch should be a little bit less than usual. So 1.2 all the way up to 1.8 should work just fine. And then we can get started and do our stitch on the machine. So you should do this way more slowly than what you would usually do, and because the stitch is a little bit smaller than usual, you actually have more time to turn the fabric and twist it the right way around. And the cool thing is then the little sections seem to be almost straight because the stitch is so small. So you're able to slow down and just really neatly do the stitch and follow the edge of the fabric with your foot. So in this case, your hands and fingers are really going to be needed here because you need to kind of pull the fabric in the right direction for it to work. And in case you're working on a really small circle, then you can even leave the needle inside of the fabric, put the foot up, twist the fabric a little bit the way you want it to, and then put the foot down and keep working. And this is the same, so I'm doing it with a smaller circle now just so I can show you. So you just basically make it work for you. And now that we did the stitch, you saw that I cut out a little bit of the fabric, or as much as I could, so I left just about 1 centimeter or maybe even a little bit less on the outside, and then check on the outside to see if everything is looking good. If you have some fabric that frays really easily, then you might want to do the seam stitch here, or either way you can do a double stitch if you're afraid that you didn't cover the whole thing or that weird things happened. And what I'm also going to do is make little triangular cuts just to the fabric, to the stitch itself, and make the stitch very clean. If you have a big piece of fabric and you don't want to do this by hand, so one at a time like here, then you can use your zigzag scissors. Now that we have this, we can turn the project inside out. So now that we turned it the right way around, we can take a look if everything's looking good, and if so, we can iron over it a little bit just to see if everything is right and to make it a little bit flatter and easier to continue working with it. Also, I like to use a little bit of damp. Most irons actually have this option on there, so that way it's a lot easier to iron over it in case your fabric is very dry and you don't want to burn it. So that's what I'm going to do in the next step, and that way I'm going to have a really nice straight line here and everything's going to be neat. And this is what I have now, so you can see what it looks like. So when you have a big circle, it's a little bit easier, I think. When you have a smaller circle, then you need to be a bit more careful because it can easily show that it's not a circle, but I think when you do an even smaller stitch, it works just fine. So now I'm going to show you how to do a circle inwards in case you need that. So the last one was called convex and this is called a concave circle, and I'm going to show you how you can do that. So we basically do the same step, and you can see here how I'm working the stitch with my sewing machine basically the same way. I just keep doing the smaller length of the stitch, and I keep following the fabric and pushing it in a way so that I get what I want. So now that I cut off the leftover bits of fabric, I'm gonna do the little knits again. So I'm gonna basically just cut little triangles in here, and I'm gonna make sure that I don't catch the stitch itself because that kind of ruins the whole thing. So just be careful with this. And now, just like before, we're gonna turn this inside out and then we're gonna iron over it. So this is just a piece of fabric that I want to try this out on. Of course, it depends on the kind of project you're working on and what you want to get as an end result, but this is just an example so that you can see what it looks like, at least the basics of it. So I'm going to turn this inside out, or actually just the other way around in my case, since I don't have any fabric other than this section as well. So I'm just going to make sure everything is nice and neat, and then I'm going to iron over it so that stitch is right where it needs to be. And I'm going to do that, and then I'll be back. There we go. So you can now see both the convex and the concave circle here. And this is just a basic video to show you how it works. Of course, you're going to be doing this in a bigger project where you get a final result, but you can see how you can do stitches so that they work any way that you want them to, even if it's not a straight line. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to shoot a thumbs up if you did. You can also let me know what you think of the entire video in the comment section below the video. Today I showed you the circular type of stitch. Of course, you can ask for more in the comments as well, and if you want to subscribe to the channel and shoot us a thumbs up, you can do that as well. See you next time. Bye!